Hey, what's up guys? Joe here, coming at you today with a quick recap of a war between Elite Academy and Clash Tutors Silver Sharks. Great time, great war, and a huge shout out to both teams for putting on a valiant effort. The final score of this war was 110 to 105, and unfortunately I couldn't capture every single attack from the entire war. In case you missed the stream yesterday, we're going to cover a couple of pretty clutch moments, a couple nail biters, starting out with this attack by Lulu from Elite Academy, which is really just a wower to start off with the Queen Walk and the different troops that she actually brings into the attack. And the fun part about it is that she actually splits this base in half, starting out with this Queen Walk down in the south, the patience with the wall breakers using a giant to distract the cannon and wizard tower in the beginning, and then just the patience with this Queen Walk down in the southern portion of the base before she starts transitioning into a second phase in the northern portion of the base where she brings in baby dragons in order to start the funnel of the Valkyries, start the funneling process for the Valkyries, and then a couple wizards in places where the splash damage won't touch them, point defenses won't touch them, and just quite out of range of that enemy Archer Queen. Pay attention down in the south as well. There's a whole lot of things going on right now. Hard to kind of split it up and pay attention to both sides, but as she brings in her Barbarian King and Valkyries, has a wall breaker fail on that compartment in the north, but she's able to rebound. And with a Lava Hound in the clan castle, it's just not fast enough or strong enough to take on these Valkyries and disrupt them. So Valkyries are kind of running wild right now, under rage, about to jump into that next compartment, while that Archer Queen is continuing to work down in the southern portion of the base, cleaning up the southern portion of the base as the Valkyries maneuver throughout the core of the base, as she starts to trickle in a couple of Hog Riders in from the south and then in from the east, taking out those structures over in the east. And at this point you have a Lava Hound that's kind of chasing around troops, so you just can't really do anything about it. So the clan castle just proved to be ineffective in this attack and with this base design. This is probably a second or third attempt on this base. However, Lulu comes in and just completely disrupts it and destroys it really fast. Very meticulous attack, and also swags the poison spell on the clan castle. A little bit of insult to injury. As we move on, we're going to take a look at one of the Silver Sharks attacks, which we actually caught live during the stream. A bit of a combination of the healer Pekka combo. Instead of Hog Riders, we have a lot of baby dragons, and then we also still have bowlers in the clan castle. This attack actually turned out to be quite a bit of a nail biter due to time at the end. Using the baby dragons to start the funneling process and a wizard or two, but we lost a wizard due to the cannon down in the south. And the idea here is to actually get the Pekka to go into the base in this most western compartment. So the baby dragon is currently working on a couple of structures to keep the Pekkas on route at least. Keep in mind there's no wall breakers during this process, so really you're focused on the Pekka going through the walls and then following it up with the heroes, the bowlers, in order to take out that air defense as quickly as possible. So a rage spell will go down here in a moment in order to speed the Pekka up, in order to get onto the air defense before it takes out the healers. Poisons are down to work on the clan castle troops, and the key there is actually the Archer Queen following suit and actually going into that compartment and taking out the baby dragon while the Pekkas continue to work. Rage spell down again to speed the Pekka up. The only problem here is that the Pekka decide that they want to go for the southern compartment and not towards the jump spell. So what ends up happening here is the healers transfer over to the Archer Queen before being taken out by the air defense that she takes out. And the Archer Queen actually comes up pretty clutch here, taking out these Expos, while the Pekka are down in the south going after structures that have virtually no value whatsoever. Archer Queen's in the core now of the base, taking out that final Expo, and this is where the attack turns into a bit of a nail biter with the Pekka on the outside of the base, going after structures that it's kind of unintended. The baby dragons were intended for the outsides of the base, while the Pekkas were supposed to take out the core. At this point, you got a Barbarian King following the Pekkas, taking out structures on the outside of the base, while the Archer Queen is doing what she's normally famous for, is getting caught up on a wall because she has no other targets to strike or fire at. So you got baby dragons following the Pekkas, taking out structures on the insides of compartments that the Pekka can't reach. So that kind of works out really well in the attacker's favor. While the remaining structures. You got 40 seconds left on the clock, so this is where you start to kind of get a little worried. A couple of seeking air mines takes out 2 more baby dragons, so you're losing damage per second type troops really quickly. And Archer Queen's finally caught through one wall, but now she's getting caught up on another wall. The Archer Tower is far out of her reach, and the Wizard Tower she clearly can't fire at as well. So we're really heavily reliant on the Barbarian King and the Pekka taking out the remaining structures, and the Pekka just moves really slow. So you're really kind of hoping for a miracle at this point, and the attack actually turned out to be 100% after all. Really good attack and a great time to watch via live stream. Moving right along, Town Hall 11 has actually gotten pretty hard for even other Town Hall 11, so having a Town Hall 10 that can actually attack up is actually quite impressive, and Kells from Battle Elite shows a ton of patience in this attack, using baby dragons for the structures on the outsides of the base, taking her time in order to clean up and get the percentage required in order to ensure the 50%, luring the clan castle with one of those baby dragons. And at this point, she's just kind of getting percentage, gaining percentage with the baby dragons, drops into the one over in the east, taking out a builder's hut, gets up to 20%, and then she'll start working in the queen walk in the northern portion of the base, where she intends to get more percentage and set up the funnel for her Valkyries in order to get those to the core and take out the town hall without even having to deal with the Inferno Towers. In fact, the Inferno Towers are still standing at the end of this attack. So at this point, the Queen Walk is down, and we have a couple of witches in the clan castle. So she's really getting bombarded right now with a lot of skeleton traps, which the poison spells kind of slow them down, but really she spends a lot more time facing off against the skeletons instead of taking out structures like she needs to. So a lot of time tied up with this clan castle, and then the first poison spell wears off, so she has to get the second one down and start working on these witches and get rid of them. She has to use the Royal Cloak ability probably a lot sooner than she had intended to. Probably didn't expect to have as many problems out of these witches as she had planned. Uses a rage spell to speed up that queen, get her in on that archer tower, and get that health up prior to taking on the Expo. Gets a minion down over in the east to start taking on structures that aren't reachable by point defenses that target air defenses. And then the bulk of her attack starts to come in with 2 jump spells, a group of giants, and then the mass group of Valkyries and her Barbarian King. Gets rage down in order to jump in there and take out that town hall. And we're at 44%. We still have plenty of troops left over. Valkyries are getting melted by the Inferno Towers. However, it's just the base design here. The queen has already been taken out. The healers are shifted over to the Barbarian King, even though you're losing those fairly quick. And she just nails that 50%. A very clutch moment by a Town Hall 10 attacking up on a Town Hall 11. Great attack and great patience by Kells, getting in the percentage that's required in order to get 2 stars on this Town Hall 11, freeing up another attack for a lower base. So as this one wraps up, we're going to go ahead and move into another case of a Town Hall 10 attacking up on a Town Hall 11, or in this case a 10.5, since there is no Eagle Artillery. This attack here we actually caught live as well, and it was actually one of those moments, another really clutch moment, with another Archer Queen walk down in the southwest, and then the attacker here, the Wizard from the Silver Sharks, actually splits the base and brings in a bit of a bowler walk in the north later on. While this Queen actually is working on structures in this first compartment, a couple of single archers taking out structures that are just outside of range of the point defenses, uses a couple of hog riders to draw the clan castle and pull out that lava hound, but the poison spells don't go down with it. Poison doesn't really do a whole lot of damage to the lava hound. However, you want to get rid of that balloon. So we've all found ourselves in the that case where we forget to do things in the middle of the attack. Bowler walk goes down in the northwest or northeast, but pay attention to this Archer Queen being struck by the balloon, barely a sliver of health, holding on before the Royal Cloak ability is used, and then the poisons go down for the lava pups. So the balloon there actually proved to be a little bit more of a danger than what the Wizard probably anticipated, and so we were all kind of biting our nails at this point during the stream as that Archer Queen survives the attack and continues to proceed into that compartment. As the bowler walk is kind of lulled out in the northeast, the giant has the healers on it instead of the bowlers, so the giant's just kind of hanging out up there, hammering down on a wall. Barbarian King is down working on some structures to funnel those Valkyries into the base, and then they take out a couple more structures before hitting the rage spell and going directly in on that town hall. Freeze spell down to lull out that Inferno Tower for a few seconds while the Archer Queen targets it. Town hall's down, and we're at 53%. So another great attack by a Town Hall 10, attacking a base that was probably a lot stronger than what it appeared at first. And also a very clutch moment by the Archer Queen, surviving by a thread of health prior to the attacker realizing that they needed to use the Royal Cloak ability or do something to save it. And now at this point, we're watching this giant hammer down on a wall, getting a couple of wizards down to start working on getting a few more pieces of percentage in order to finish up this raid. 10 seconds remaining as the wizards take out a couple more structures and getting it at 66%. So a really good attack by a Town Hall 10 yet again. And one more attack we're going to move into. This is another one. The attacker Joe from Elite Academy on Silver Shark's base, or actually it's Medi from Red Elite. And just a big day for the Town Hall 10s, taking out Town Hall 11s or putting 2 stars on the Town Hall 11s. Kind of crazy to say, but Town Hall 11s are just, that's where it's at. 2 stars is about all you're going to get, unless you come out with some crazy wicked attack or a really weak base. With this attack right here, Joe's being very patient with the Queen Walk, just taking his time, taking out structures to get her to go into the base. Nothing really exciting quite yet. You just have to go really wide on these funnels when it comes to the Valkyrie usage, because they will target these structures on the outer ring and just continue to go around the core of the base instead of going in. Rage spell down with the poisons in order to take out the clan castle, draw the clan castle, get rid of it as the Queen continues to take on structures after the dragon goes down. So the Expo goes down, and then she'll maneuver over to the Archer Tower. Very timely, very slow, methodical movement with the Archer Queen, just being patient on making sure that the remaining portion of his attack goes the way he wants it to. So that Archer Queen starts to maneuver down. She's just kind of slow taking out these structures, and we're just kind of dragging it along. Gets a rage spell down in order to take out that air defense fairly quick before the healers go down. And then he'll start working in the second portion of his funneling up in the north with a couple of giants to distract the point defenses, followed by the wall breakers in order to open up a compartment up there. Golem giant combination in the clan castle, followed by a couple of wizards. So once the golem goes out of range, the point defenses start targeting the wizards, and then he'll use just 3 or 4 Valkyries in order to start working on the structures on the outer portion of the ring, followed by the Barbarian King. And the golems are down to golemites, and you got a couple of Valkyries that are taking out structures, followed by 2 random balloons to go in and take out a couple more defenses. 1 balloon went down. Valkyries are still moving. You got 3 or 4 Valkyries working on that last cannon, and clearly the Archer Queen has gone down because the healers are starting to maneuver their way into the core of the base, which are being taken out by the Inferno Tower. Barbarian King is cracked into that second compartment layer, and then the jump spell goes down. The mass group of about 10 Valkyries goes down, and then followed by the Rage, where they go in and take out the Inferno Tower, the Clan Castle, Teslas, and the Town Hall as they finish up this raid. There's only a couple of more Valkyries left over, but now they're starting to work into a heavy, dense defensive area, and they go down pretty quick. So this attack finishes up at about 59%, and it's a really good attack for a Town Hall 10 attacking up on a Town Hall 11, along with a ton of attacks that I wish I could have shown from this war. Special thanks and shout out to Kyle Drago and Andy, both representatives from both Elite Academy and the White Whales, for working and organizing this event and getting everybody to the respective clans to get this thing going. And then for all of you guys out there, I do encourage you to go attempt getting into a friendly war, broaden your horizons. I'm telling you, these things are intense. Like, you just don't You think you're really good until you get into a friendly war against a clan that you know, and then you get all jittery and shaky and start making mistakes that you never make in a normal war. If you pay attention to a lot of stuff that Powerbang's doing with the CWL and the CFL and all that stuff, it's really intense to watch, and those guys are really into war. So if you enjoy war and you want to broaden your horizons, definitely take advantage of the friendly war option and start organizing things yourself. Drop some comments down below and let me know if you're interested in arranging something, and we'll see what we can do for you. Thanks for watching, guys.